Hey, good morning, everybody. I've had a lot of people message me, so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and go live. Then that way I can answer any kind of questions that you guys might have. And again, we just have a strong thunderstorm over here in Johnson and parts of Henry County right now, moving into Pettis County. So it is not severe warned. I'm not really expecting it to go severe warned, but I thought I would jump on here and answer any questions that you guys might have. I've been tracking this line of storms for the last about hour 15 minutes. And again, it is not severe. We don't have any warnings on it right now. I'm just going to put this out there and make sure everybody knows that they can come here and get any questions answered if they have it. I went ahead and went live on all my platforms. And again, just to make sure everybody kind of knows what's going on. So basically, we have this special weather statement that was issued for Johnson and northern Henry County for this cell 45 mile per hour wind, maybe some small pea-sized hail. But it is moving over into Pettis County. And again, I'm not expecting this to go severe warned. This is along that cold front that we've been talking about. Here it is about 340, and it's just now coming in to west central Missouri. Brought some moderate heavy rain to Harrisonville, Cass County. Bates County now is getting some of those rain and thunder showers right now, and again, not expecting anything severe with this line, even though we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for down in southwest Missouri, mainly for the southern extent of this line of storms, and it is producing some severe weather down there that might clip Springfield, Nixa, Joplin, Neosho down in this area. But this line continues to move off to the east and get past west central Missouri, and then through the rest of the day today, we could see some showers, maybe some thunder showers, as this line continues to move off to the east throughout the morning. So there's Pettis County, just got put under that special weather statement, same as what Johnson and Henry did. We'll go ahead and read that. 351 Doppler tracking a strong thunderstorm near Green Ridge, 7 miles southwest of Sedalia, moving east at 70. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, radar indicated. And of course, Lamont, Whiteman Air Force Base, Otterville, Sedalia Airport, Smithton, Green Ridge, Clifton City, and Pilot Grove. So, torrential rainfall. So again, up to 50 mile per hour winds, and this is moving very fast. 70 miles per hour is what it just said, but I'm looking at it. Looks like right around 50 miles per hour to the east. So maybe some 50 mile per hour gusts coming into the town of Sedalia. So be prepared for that. Smithton as well. Why, good morning, Father. And again, we're not expecting much more than just some rainfall, a little bit of lightning. There's not even really a whole lot of lightning associated with this line of storms. It's mainly going to be, it's mainly just for strong straight line winds. Not seeing a whole lot of hail, maybe some pea-sized hail with some of the, some where you see the pinks and the purples. There could be maybe some small pea-sized hail just on the north side, north of Sedalia. But really, it's mainly just going to be for those gusty winds that's going to be moving in up to 50 miles per hour. And then we got a severe thunderstorm watch down in far southwestern Missouri, include Joplin, Carthage, Neosho. And that's going to be for this line of storms that's lining up here, moving off to the east, northeast. That's the southern part of the dry line. And it's going to be moving through probably here in a couple hours here in the Joplin, Springfield area. We'll kind of put this out just a little bit further out, and then we'll put it into motion. So where that dry line is, you guys can kind of see it here as it moves. That dry line extends all the way down here. And it's moving, of course, that way, east, southeast. And we'll likely start to see a few storms kind of fill in here. We got 69 degrees right now here in Clinton. So this line of storms is being undercut, and that's what's kind of lessening the severe threat to this line of storms without it being severe. We've got 69 degrees. We also have, let's see, dew point is 62. But it's being undercut by some cooler air, and it has a little bit of a gust front out here. You notice that little green line right here. That little green line right there is the gust front, and you're going to feel this gust of wind come through, and then moments later, then the torrential rains after that. But this gust front is really weakening the thunderstorms behind it, because they're going over rain-cooled air. So instead of that real rich, moist air that we were talking about last night, it's actually going to be bringing in the rain-cooled air from this gust front. So, but nonetheless, we do have a strong thunderstorm over Pettis County right now. 50-mile-per-hour winds is possible with this cell. Maybe some small hail. Yeah, torrential rainfall with this cell right here. Maybe not so much for what's coming into Henry County now, coming into Clinton, Butler, Appleton City. And I'm really not expecting, it's not going to last very long. It's not going to be really all that heavy. And again, we're only seeing just a few lightning strikes with the strongest part of this line up here in Pettis County. So this thing is just not, it's just not very strong, but it is strong enough to produce some 50-mile-per-hour winds. So that's the reason why they have this special weather statement for Pettis County right now. Hi, Amber. If he's driving, if he can wait about 15 minutes, he can get out of a lot of the torrential rains. Where this is right now is very, very heavy rain over Pettis County right now. Over Sedalia. This is very, very heavy rain. We have a new special weather statement for the southern flank of this cell. And that's going to be down around Co Camp, Stover, Versailles, Syracuse. So they kind of extended that out just a little bit. But if he has about 10-15 minutes he can wait before getting on the road, then he won't have any problem between Sedalia and heading over to Kansas. No, Suzanne, and like I said, this is the strongest cell out of this line of storms right now, and we just have a special weather statement up to 50-mile-per-hour winds associated with the leading edge of this line right here going through Pettis County, and really down further south, just some light to moderate rain. But it's a weakening line of storms along that cold front. It's being undercut by some cooler, more stable air. So this line of storms is not very impressive, even though some of the ingredients, we have high dew point, we have a cold front moving in, but the energy that these storms have to thrive on has just bottomed out because of this rain-cooled air. You bet, Amber. Give me just a sec, guys. I'm going to grab me, refresh my cup of coffee. My coffee was getting cold. So earlier tonight, a lot of storm chasers, not ours, that we have here in West Central Missouri, but you guys have to remember that these storm chasers were going from Oklahoma, Texas, all the way up into Minnesota to chase after storms earlier last night. And there were a few tornado warnings, but yeah, it was nothing really like what was projected by some of the models. And so they started flooding the storm spotter where you would go to actually put in a storm report with snow. Let's see here. Seeing Santa Claus walking across the street. There was the Abominable Snowman was seen in northern Iowa last night. I mean, they were so frustrated at this, but you know, not that I. Here's the thing: if you're going to be out storm spotting, then you have to know, or storm chasing, you have to know a little bit about the weather. You got to learn to read the models. You got to learn, how to decipher on what the weather is going to be like where you're heading. And here's the deal. So if they didn't catch on to anything that might mitigate these storms from happening, turning tornadic up in Minnesota and Wisconsin, then, it looked good also to those forecasting those tornadic potential thunderstorms up there in Minnesota. So, they're just as much to blame as the meteorologists at the National Weather Service. But it was quite comical to me. However, that there was a lot of very upset professional people out there when they start seeing the storm chasers putting all these false reports in there. Of course, that's just like calling 911 and producing a false report. But matter of fact, I think there was like 20 reports of snow falling in Clinton, Missouri. Also, was showing up here in the chat. So anyway, I made sure our boys weren't the ones doing it. But there was a lot of upset people that, they started at 7 o'clock this morning traveling all the way up there to Minnesota. Great light and sound show up in the Berg. So you guys are just about out of that line, just some light rain showers. And again, the strongest part of this line is really going to be stretched from Pilot Grove, Smithton, down just outside of Coal Camp. Coal Camp, you're going to be in this here probably in the next 5-10 minutes. And again, torrential rainfall, small hail, maybe up to 50 mile per hour winds. Seeing, that leading edge of that line has some 50 mile per hour winds associated with it. And that's that front gusting forward. And so, you definitely expect for it to gust up fairly quickly. Torrential rains and maybe some pea-sized hail as this line moves through. And it's going at a very quick clip. I looked at radar about 20 minutes before we went live, and it was clear up here. Right up here, draped across Blue Springs, Lee Summit, Belton. And then in about 20 minutes, looked again, and it's all the way down across Warrensburg, Holden, and all the way down here to Bates County. So the thing is really trucking at a good clip right now. Once this line moves through, what that means is that the cold front and the dry line have passed our area. Now, we're likely going to see a few more rounds of showers and thunderstorms as we go through today. But since we're going to be behind that front, we're not expected any more severe weather today. Hopefully that makes sense with you guys. We could have some more rain and lightning and thunder, but they're just going to be the good garden variety type of thunderstorms. So... and then, of course, down here, Springfield, Nixa, Republic area. Just off to your west, you do have a severe thunderstorm watch. And that's going to go for about the next almost 6 hours down here. Now, that's associated with the bottom half of this dry line. That is going to be actually moving across here over the next couple hours. So if you have family and friends down in Springfield, Republic, Ozark, Lake of the Ozarks, you guys might be getting into this later on this morning. Maybe some stronger thunderstorms with large hail and maybe some damaging winds. Tornado risk down here, very, very low. It's going to be kind of a messy storm system. Maybe some torrential rain, maybe some quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour wind, but that's probably going to be about the most of it down in southwest Missouri. Just kind of a messy storm system. You bet, Jessica. And again, I don't mind these kind of storm systems. It allowed me to get just about a 3-hour nap in there. So, and then got back up about I don't know, if after we left live, I think I fell asleep right around 11:15, and then slept till, a little before 2, a little bit before 2 o'clock, I guess. No, I woke up, that's what it was. I woke up about 1, stayed up for about 45 minutes, kind of checking out the storms. I did a post, and then of course set my alarm for 2:45, and got up and was tracking this line of storms, and then we went live. So as long as I'm able to catch some little cat naps there in between, those are the type that I like. It's those 8-hour live streams all in a row, all through the night. Those are the ones that are killers. Those are killer. Should be out of, yeah, I can do that. And again, they're moving at a big clip, 30, 40. So let's put that right around when it gets to about Windsor. So the back edge of this line of storms is going to be moving through Clinton here at 4:29. So here in about 19 minutes or so, the back edge of this line will be through Clinton. On that, I hope that helps, Rhonda. And we'll still be left over with maybe some light showers, sprinkling, maybe a light thunder shower, something like that. But this line right here, it will look like it's going to be, the back edge of it will be through Clinton at about here in about 20 minutes. A lot of people sleeping right now. We don't have a whole lot of people in our stream, but granted, weather radios haven't had to go off, so that's good. I have a feeling if we had a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, if we had a warning out there somewhere close to make the weather radios go off, then everybody would be waking up and going, "Oh no, what's going on? Let's find Subby." So it's been a relatively quiet line of storm so far this morning. She drives to school in town. Oh, okay, Rhonda. I understand that. So yeah, this line of storms will be out of here by the time she'll be driving to school, and we might have some rain showers again. It's not just going to go all blue sky after this line moves through. We're going to have other rounds throughout the day today and into this evening of showers, maybe a thunder shower, maybe a lightning, display. But as far as severe weather, not really expecting much of the way of any kind of strong to severe storms once this line passed this area. So it looked like the leading edge of this cell, the gust front, that's this green line out ahead of it. That is what, if it was daylight and you looked at this line, that is going to be a shelf cloud going all the way across the sky. That is the gust front, is what that is. You get that gust front move through, you get a big gust of wind, it cools down tremendously, and then you get the heavy rains. So it's just the area between the gust front and the line of storm, this pocket right in here is rain-cooled air. And it's being absorbed by this line of storms, and that's what's keeping it behaving, not growing in intensity or size, is that rain-cooled air is keeping it below severe limits right now. Good morning, Roberta. Well, with this line of storms, I'm maybe a tenth, maybe 2/10 with this line of storms down here. Up here closer, that went through Sedalia, Smithton, Syracuse, Pilot Grove, Green Ridge, Leeton, Warrensburg. They probably picked up a good solid, probably half to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall with the strongest part of this line. Now we're going to have some other thunderstorms and rain showers. I'm expecting through Thursday about inch and a half on average throughout west central Missouri. We do have more thunderstorms in the forecast for Wednesday. They're likely not going to be severe. They're just going to be good old-fashioned thunderstorms on Wednesday. Still keeping a very close eye on that. We kind of went in detail a little bit during our chaser stream we had earlier tonight. But right now, it looks as if we're just going to get those garden variety thunderstorms. And I still have my models up here. I'm going to get it for Missouri, and I'll show you guys why we have them in it. So just a very wet next 2 or 3 days. That's my lightning detector in the background, in case anybody's wondering. So as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, of course, we're right here. There's several rounds of showers and thunder showers all the way through. This is Wednesday. And you notice there's several rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Now, this right down here, down in southwest Missouri, they're kind of borderline where that severe risk is going to set up for Wednesday. It's going to be along that front that's stalled out down in that area. But we up here in west central Missouri are going to get just some good old-fashioned rain and thunderstorms all the way through Thursday. So just kind of hit and miss storms, maybe some moderate rainfall. Hey, you bet, Brenda. Thanks for the kind words. So that gust front now has come through Colcamp and Lincoln, Leesville, and you'll notice the humidity really dropped if you step out on the porch. Humidity's dropped, it's cooler, and then you're going to get that rain right behind it that's just going to last just a few minutes. This line is moving very, very quickly off to the east, so no more starts raining. That it's likely going to it's going to start letting up. Oh, thanks, Pam. So Pam got 4/10 right at the Johnson-Henry County line. So about a half inch, about right there at the county line. And what I can do also, let me show you what the newest model that has come out. And let's take a look at the total precipitation. I'm going to bring another model over here. This is going to show anticipated total rainfall. And we're going to get it to through Thursday. So through Thursday, right about inch and a quarter or so, Henry County. Looked like closer to inch and a half for St. Clair and Benton counties. And then, of course, once you get down here closer to southwest Missouri, where they looks like they're going to have a few training cells coming in today, maybe upwards around 3 to 4 inches of rainfall through Thursday. And then we'll be looking at yet another storm system that will be coming in as well after that. We'll have a little bit of a break, and then more storms will be coming in after that. So plenty of moisture so far this spring. Here we are really right in the middle of spring right now. Oh, thank you for that, those kind words. I appreciate that. Thanks for those kind words. I really do appreciate that. Good morning, MH. So the heaviest part of this little line of storms that's moving through is really stretching from Windsor Place down through Pilot Grove, Smithton, Syracuse. It's going to be coming into Tipton. The gust front is heading into Stover, Versailles here in about the next 10-15 minutes. And then, of course, Cold Camp, Lincoln, Tightwad, Leesville, Deepwater. You guys are going to get into some of this moderate rainfall here on the southern end of this little line segment. And you guys are going to be getting in on some of this moderate rainfall. It's likely not going to last more than probably around 20 minutes or so, and then it will be moved out of the area. Let's take a look at Granby. Hi, Laura. No, you're over there at the Neosho area. So, let's jump down here to the Springfield radar. So, you still got a little bit of time down there in Granby before this line of storms start to make its way over to your area. Now, you are under that severe thunderstorm watch for about the next 5.5 hours. And, of course, it's going to take a while for this line of storms to make it over to you. But, again, I think the biggest threats are going to be hail to the size of quarters and maybe some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The tornado threat is really a lot lower down in southwest Missouri than what it was, say, up in Iowa and Minnesota last night. But nonetheless, you need to stay weather aware as you go through the morning and into the afternoon today for that possibility of seeing a stronger cell or two down there in Granby. Now, Matt Jones from 417, he is going to be out and about today down there in Springfield, kind of giving some updates. So make sure you follow them there on Facebook and YouTube. He'll be giving some updates on southwest Missouri as we go through today. So, of course, as you guys know, I'm constant communication with the National Weather Service out of Pleasant Hill and Springfield. So as they just released they have a little packet that they send out every morning, right around the 4 o'clock time frame that I look at every morning when I'm down at the weather center there at KDKD. I'm actually doing this from the comfort of my home this morning. So, anyway, I'll kind of show you guys what they're talking for today. And I'm right behind this. This is I agree with this as well. Showers and storms mainly south of Butler to Clinton, Missouri line. Threat of severe weather very low. Heaviest rain, potential of flooding threat mainly across southern Missouri and southeastern Kansas. Now, showers and storms becomes more widespread Wednesday into Wednesday night. A few strong to marginally severe storms possible. Potential for several rounds of precipitation may lead to flooding south of Highway 50. So, that does pertain to some of us here in west central Missouri, south of 50 highway. So, Harrisonville, well, actually, just about everybody, with the exception of, and I'd include Warrensburg in on that as well. So, we're going to have several rounds of those thunderstorms moving through. Let's take a look at, so, severe weather outlook Wednesday into Wednesday night. So now they brought this back up. I don't know if you guys were watching my stream last night. I seen a threat assessment similar to this. The darker greens right here, what that is a marginal risk for severe storms. I seen that earlier in the day. And then when we went to look at it last night, they completely took that away for west central Missouri. This morning, they brought it back, and I think mainly the reason behind that is because we're not getting those really robust thunderstorms and taking all the energy out of the atmosphere like the models, the data was all suggesting the possibility of scattered severe thunderstorms tonight. That would take a lot of the energy out. Well, since that didn't quite happen, that kind of puts us a little bit of risk for maybe some marginally severe storms in our area for tomorrow. So, and again, this is going to be mainly east of a Butler to Kirksville, Missouri line. Gusty winds, 60 miles per hour, and hail to the size of quarters would be the biggest threat of any cells here in west central Missouri in the dark green area. So, we'll be watching that Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. Of course, I'll be live if we have any severe weather in or around west central Missouri, as always. So it's always nice to sit there and National Weather Service. I know people, we dog on them quite a bit because of the weather radios and so on and so forth, but they do a really, really great job. They're very highly talented. They're very, very smart. Those guys, I've learned so much from them through the course of several years, and my hats go off to them. They do a very, very good job as far as doing the best they can with the limited funds and the limited staff that these offices have. So, they're covering 37 counties, and here we're just covering 7 or 8 right here in our little area. So there's only so many eyes that can be on a radar screen because there's so many different jobs to do up there at the National Weather Service. You have to have a guy that's putting out the warnings, a guy answering all the phone calls and ham radio. You have a guy watching the storms like what I do and seeing if there's any circulations in any of these cells. You got another guy that's watching out for flooding concerns. And you're doing all this with just a couple, 3 guys. So, they do a very, very good job. They're very good at what they do. It's just they need more staff. They need more money to hire more staff to fill those offices. But that's one of the reasons why we do what we do here at Subby's Weather Talk. And we kind of shrink that down to just a few counties that sometimes get left out of the Springfield, Kansas City, news stations. We're kind of there in the southern zone or the northern zone of their territories, so we try to cover those counties right in between there the best that we can. So Leesville, Lincoln, Camp, you guys are getting some of those moderate showers right now, maybe a clap of thunder. The strongest part of this little line is already, of course, out of Benton County. It's all the way over near Columbia now and California, Missouri along 5 Highway. So this thing is really going at a big clip. Now, do notice there are some showers and thunder showers. There are some showers and thunder showers behind this line, but at least we don't have to worry about these being severe or even strong. Just a garden variety thunder shower behind this line stretching from Columbia, Tipton, Camp down to about Tightwad. Of course, later on this afternoon, we had talked about down here in southwest Missouri, Matt Jones from 417 Chasers. He's going to be watching this area later on this morning. And again, this is going to be kind of a really messy thunderstorm complex that's going to be coming through. It's going to be borderline possible of having a couple of severe storms in the southwest Missouri area. Now, extreme southwest Missouri, there is a severe thunderstorm watch for about the next 5 hours for Carthage, Joplin, Neosho, let's see here, Lamar, all the way down through Anderson, Southwest City, and Goodman. And that's going to be for this line of storms out here on the southern half of this dry line that actually has some a little bit better ingredients down here. And the reason why there's a little bit of a dry line bulge that down here in Oklahoma, and a dry line bulge. Boy, that's a hard one to say. The dry line bulge is kind of the separation, of course, of moist air and very dry air. And as that dry air pushes into that moist air, sometimes you get like a little bulge. And when that happens, of course, you have winds coming from two different directions typically, in which you do in this case, you have northwest winds and southwest winds. And of course, the closer you pack them in together, two different direction winds, and you get some rotation. So that's likely the reason why we're seeing over here, up here just east of Amarillo, Texas, we have a tornado warning ongoing down there. So definitely something that they're going to have to be concerned with down in Texas and Oklahoma. But as we move up a little bit further north, there's more of a gradual change between the dry line and the warm, moist air. So, they're not quite as explosive here in Missouri. So, but we'll be watching this area down here in southwest Missouri. I know Matt Jones, 417 Chaser, will be watching this area. He will likely be out and about today tracking these storms. So, again, if you have not followed his page on Facebook or YouTube, give him a follow. And again, that's 417 Chasers, and you can find them on Facebook and YouTube. Good morning, Debbie. No problem, Laura. She mentioned thank you for the update. I wasn't going to go live, actually. I was just kind of following these storms. Well, I had a couple people messaged me. And so I thought, well, sometimes it's so much easier just to go live so you guys can hear and see it for yourself and kind of put your mind at ease a little bit rather than trying to read through all my posts. So that's one of the reasons I like to go live, so I can kind of explain to you guys what we have going on. See what we've got weather-wise. So we do have 65 degrees. It is dropping. Looks like here in Clinton we only picked up about 2/10 here in Clinton with that little bout of rain that come through here. We do have more shower thunderstorms behind this line, and then of course we still have that potential to see several rounds of showers and thunder showers, non-severe, throughout the day today and again tomorrow, in which we are under that marginal risk to see a couple of stronger cells with 60-mile-per-hour winds and maybe quarter-inch hail as we go into tomorrow on Wednesday. So, of course, I'll be giving an update on that when I get down to the Baumgard Weather Center. It's probably going to be later on this morning, probably around 9 o'clock or so when I get down there to the Weather Center. And I will be kind of updating our forecast for the rest of the day today, tomorrow, and into Thursday. Bring over, there's that. So here is the day 2. This is going to be tomorrow. And I'll bring that over for you guys. So again, this is, most of West Central Missouri is actually going to be in that marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. For a couple of stronger cells, might have some a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, maybe hail to the size of quarters, and the strongest of thunderstorms. But I do believe we're going to have several thunderstorms throughout the day on Wednesday and Wednesday night. It's going to be really kind of a wet day, I think, on Wednesday from all the latest data from earlier this morning. So we can expect Wednesday to pick up, maybe 3/4 of an inch, if not more, of rain just on Wednesday for most of West Central Missouri. And then once we get through Thursday, guys, I think we're going to have a nice weekend. I think our first day or two of next week is going to be nice. We're going to have a 4 or 5 day dry stretch in there. And then our next storm system comes in right around the 8th, 9th, and 10th of May. According to the LRC, that's been a date that I've had on my calendar since the day after Thanksgiving. And that is also the same storm system on the 10th of May. If you guys think back 41 days prior to that, that was the storm system that produced a tornado in Nevada and a couple of tornado reports in Bates County. And that same part of the cycle is going to be rotating back through around 8th, 9th, 10th of May. And so I'll be keeping a very close eye on that storm system. It hadn't even formed yet. but we'll likely start to see it form out in the deep Pacific, and we'll be tracking that as it makes its way into the continental U.S. and then eventually across into west central Missouri. So we've got a nice weekend that we have to look forward to, as well as 4 or 5 days in there that we're going to be dry. So looking forward to that. Taco Tuesday. Oh, my mother, she likes her tacos. They go down to Lincoln, Missouri every Tuesday. They go down to Lincoln. I believe they go to the Lincoln Inn, I believe is where they go to get Taco Tuesday. Some of the best taco salads and tacos that you can find down there in Lincoln. They go down there every Tuesday, and my father warned me not to be messing with my mother's Taco Tuesday with severe weather. So hopefully those will be long gone and pushed off to the east by the time it's time to go eat tacos. So a big shout out to our West Central Missouri Chasers. So we had Team Havoc and Nader Boys and Jeff Smith Storm Chasers. They were up here in northwest Missouri, keeping an eye on those cells up here that actually did affect parts of Kansas City Metro on the north side, just north of Smithville, St. Joe, Maryville. And again, even those cells last night, they kind of behaved themselves. They packed a punch. They had some 60-mile-per-hour winds. They had some very large hail out here on the Kansas side. But again, once those storms kind of hit that state line, they kind of started to fizzle out a little bit. So we were live, and I was kind of showcasing their streams last night. We had Nader Boys. Isaac flew a drone up. Looked like to me it was probably sitting at about 125 feet or so off the ground, taking a look at a cloud base of a supercell as it was making its way toward them. So that was a neat little visual we got to see last night and see how that drone operated to kind of get up above the tree line so you kind of see what is coming in, kind of like our Skycam cameras that we have set up around west central Missouri that we utilize from time to time during severe weather events. So that was kind of neat. So a big shout out to those guys trying to keep me informed what's going on the ground level while I'm looking at radar and sending reports that they're seeing to the National Weather Service in Pleasant Hill so they can get out warnings. So it's kind of like a big team effort there. So that was kind of that's kind of really about the first time that we really utilized the chaser streams as we watched the line of storms come through. So I think all in all it went really, really well. Good job with the storm chasers last night. Hi Taylor. I don't think we're going to see any severe weather for the rest of today. So this is the actual cold front, is the leading edge of this line right now. That is the cold front. That's the cold front and the dry line. They have merged into one, and that stretches from Columbia now down through St. Clair County into southeast Kansas and all the way down into Texas. That's where that front is right now, and it is moving off to the southeast. So if you're behind this area, now we're still going to get some rain and thunder showers, but of course all the better ingredients for any kind of severe weather is going to be out in front of that cold front. So just garden variety showers and thunder showers throughout the day. And now tomorrow we kind of reset just a little bit as that front kind of retreats back up to the north. And we do have that marginal risk, 1 out of 5 where maybe a storm or two, the strongest ones, could provide quarter-inch hail, 60 miles per hour wind gusts, with the strongest of any cell that might happen tomorrow. But we're going to pretty much have the day with several bouts of rain and thunderstorms throughout the day and evening tomorrow night. And that's when I think we'll pick up the bulk of the rest of our moisture that we're going to get out of this system. Is going to be done tomorrow on Wednesday. And then we'll have the tail end of it come through on Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, part of Tuesday, we ought to be in good shape. Nice weather. It'll be a little cooler. We'll have lows back down into the mid to upper 40s. But it's going to be really nice stretch of weather, and we'll be dry for 3, 4, 4.5 days through that stretch. So it looks like all of these special weather statements have now ceased here in west central Missouri. And again, we are just left with just some good old-fashioned thunder showers, some rain showers, what's left over here in west central Missouri. And again, some of us so far still been high and dry, probably down here in southern Bates County, Nevada, parts of Vernon County. Hardly a drop of rain and a half-inch of rainfall at the Henry and Johnson County line. So a little bit scattered here in west central Missouri who picked up any rainfall. But if you didn't pick up any rainfall today, you'll likely pick up rainfall as we go through the course today and into Wednesday. We will be picking up quite a bit more rain as we finish out this system and get it completely out of our way by Thursday evening. All right, guys. Well, we don't have any special weather statements. No more severe weather here in west central Missouri is expected through the course of today. And again, definitely want to remind you guys that as we head into Wednesday, again, we're in that 1 out of 5 chance in that threat assessment, and that's a marginal risk to see a couple of stronger thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow. And again, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds really is the greatest concern of the strongest of any storms that would be coming through here. So really not expected too much of the way of severe weather, but we're going to have several rounds of thunderstorms on Wednesday and into the overnight on Wednesday night. So no, Chrissy, it wasn't mine. She said, you don't drive a black vehicle, do you? I just realized that you appear to have a closed beard, but someone's dog ate my prescription glasses, so I could be wrong. But I saw a vehicle in Warsaw yesterday with antenna all over the top. So nope, that wasn't me. Can you check on Garvin County, Elmore City? You bet. We can do that before we get out of here today. That's going to be Elmore City, Oklahoma. So let's just go over here to. Okay, so you're going to be right in this area right here. Now, there is a strong cell just off to your southwest. It does have 80-mile-an-hour winds associated with this cell. So definitely can be very destructive straight line winds associated with this cell. We can put that into motion here for you. There's Elmore City is right here. So looks like the biggest chunk of this cell is going to stay off just to your west there at Elmore City. So very destructive winds, but the cell is moving northeast, and it's going to stay just to the west of you there in Elmore City. I don't think so. The conditions are not favorable for tornadoes with these storms down here in Oklahoma. Now they do have a tornado warning. This is going to be just northeast of Amarillo, Texas. But this cell here is just associated with strong straight line winds. So not necessarily tornadoes. Matter of fact, you guys not even in a watch right now, severe thunderstorm or tornado watch. So these cells happen outside of that watch box, but it is picking up. It's moving at a pretty good clip too. It's actually moving 56 miles per hour to the east northeast. So I do think that. That was at 3. That was yesterday afternoon. So I think this is definitely going to stay. The bulk of it's going to stay to your west, but notice that there is a little bit of a trailing edge here. That's more likely what's going to be hitting and affecting Elmore City. And again, you can kind of prepare for 50, 60 mile an hour wind gust. So if you have lawn furniture on your porch, anything like that, you might want to close up, lay them down onto the ground. You just got put under a severe thunderstorm watch. It just popped up here on my screen. And again, the reason why they're doing that is because of this cell right now. So, of course, you're up here in Elmore City. And so you'll have this cell to watch for, but the bulk, the most dangerous part of this cell that's producing 80-mile-an-hour winds is going to stay just to your west. So, but yeah, definitely need to stay weather aware. And again, you are under a severe thunderstorm watch for the next 5 hours there at Elmore City. In a mobile home, 80-mile-per-hour winds, it's going to rock that trailer quite a bit. You'll notice that. But again, the strongest of these winds are going to stay to your west. So I don't think you have too much to worry about. You're going to have a strong thunderstorm affect you. But again, it's not going to be anything really to have to worry about. It's going to sound a lot worse than really what it is as it comes through there. But again, if you're concerned about that any at all, you just want to make sure you stay away from windows, just in case it's blowing around some objects. With that, 50-mile-per-hour winds, if it's blowing a branch around or a branch falls off a tree, something like that, you kind of want to stay away from windows. But I think, and again, I think the most of this is going to stay just to your west of Elmore City. So over at Mexico, Audrain County. Hi, Robert. So right now, you have this line of storms that is coming through your neck of the woods right now, and there's no warnings associated with it. There's no special weather statement associated with it, but you can expect torrential rainfall. A little bit of lightning with it. I'm not seeing a whole lot of lightning with this either, Robert. So, of course, once this line moves past you, then the severe weather threat is done for the day there in Audrain County up there near Mexico, Missouri. It just hit. So, yeah, and again, it's going to sound worse than really what it is because there's just going to be blinding rains coming from it and, maybe up to 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts there near Mexico, Missouri right now. But once that rain starts to let up a little bit, you know that line has passed to your east, and then you're not going to have to worry about any severe threats for the rest of today. You bet, Robert. My pleasure. All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and end this stream. And again, all the threatening weather has moved out of west central Missouri. We're not expecting any more severe weather for the rest of today. We do have that marginal risk for Wednesday, several rounds of rain and thunderstorms throughout Wednesday. So, and quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with the absolute strongest of these cells for tomorrow. And of course, I will be constantly updating through the course of today and updating our forecasts. When I get into the weather studios here, probably around 9 o'clock this morning, I'll be updating our forecast for the rest of the week here in west central Missouri. So, thanks for joining the stream. And you guys have, you might have an extra hour you can lay back down and get a little shut-eye before your day starts. So if anybody has any questions, any comments, feel free. Shoot me a message over on Facebook, or you can leave them in the comments on YouTube, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Have a fantastic rest of the early morning here on this Tuesday morning. And you guys stay weather aware, and we'll be talking to you all soon.